and welcome to the 6th episode of the Retail Talks. Today, we have a very special guest with us. But before we start our panel, let me introduce myself and give the audience brief information about the purpose of these Retail Talk series. My name is Aytül Erçil. I'm co-founder and co-CEO of Vispera. I've been an academician for about 25 years. And in the meantime, I started a company called Vistec, which was doing image processing for manufacturing automation. In 2013, I sold that company to a German company's Revision, which is number 1 in Europe, number 3 globally. And together with the R&D manager at Vistec, Ceyhun Burakakgül, we started Vispera. Now we're working in 25 countries, developing AI-based solutions to retailers and FMCG companies. At Vispera, we intend to transfer our experience in visual intelligence technology for the retail industry to our audience through these video series. We have hosted a few other guests who are opinion leaders about the retail industry in this program before. In each episode, a different retail leader was hosted to discuss the most striking issues in the world of retail, including digitalization, AI-based technologies, and sustainability. So, let's discuss the further steps with our special guest and launch the 6th episode Retail Talks. Our guest today is someone who has been in the retail industry for a number of years, as we were, but for some reason our paths didn't cross directly until recently. Great that you can join us today, Neil.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Neil, can you introduce yourself and tell us about your background?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Neil Gowing, and I've spent coming up for 20 years now working for enterprise software organizations, but mainly with a focus on solving universal challenges for the retail industry. I've held a variety of different leadership and sales positions, but really with the key objective of successfully driving adoption of disruptive technologies within Fortune 500 organizations.
Neil, the last 2 years, as we have all witnessed, has been very, very different for all of us. So the last 2 years under the COVID umbrella, what have been your key observations and what do you see emerging out of all this for 2022?
I think one of the things that's already happened, right, but retailers and the CPG brands really kind of need to fully take it on board, is the need to think about the physical and online presence as one rather than two separate entities. So people don't buy in-store, online anymore, right? Everything is connected, whether it be shoppers, they check prices, they compare products, they research reviews, they go off and consult social media. And this shift has been, I guess, a huge challenge, and there's opportunity there as well. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that. So in the UK market, it shifted from a warehouse-based e-commerce model to a store-based omnichannel model. And in retail, omnichannel simply means using all of the avenues available to reach customers and provide services. And this omnichannel shift, it's creating complexity and opportunities, I mentioned before. So Tesco's, the largest retailer here in the UK, has 23 distribution centres throughout the UK. And I know this purely because my wife works there. And during the first COVID lockdown in England, what happened is that 90% of Tesco's online sales, they'd been delivered from the actual stores. And this was purely done to manage the sheer demand, with people with home deliveries and whatnot. But this caused huge discrepancies in both out of stock, share of assortment between brick and click. The loss in the retail industry due to out of stocks in 2021 was a staggering 1.1 trillion. And the root cause of these sales loss is mostly invisible. So, for example, we think of an out of shelf or an out of stock, and the fact that the product's not there, the consumer can't buy it. So that's the first thing. But often the product is in an inventory room out the back. And then you also have this term which is referred to as phantom inventory. And this could be due to theft, shrinkage, checkout, barcode mistakes, for example. But what I wanted to say is that this omnichannel is a term that's been around for years, but it's become a reality, and it's driven by the shopper who now shifts seamlessly between these channels, and they expect an ecosystem which is designed accordingly. I think that the opportunities are really for the CPG manufacturers to rethink their route to market. And although COVID restrictions have eased, certainly here in the UK and I think across most countries in Europe, we see that some behaviours are here to stay. So gone are the days of FMCG brands sending thousands of sales and merchandising field reps to the outlets. They're much more selective on which outlets to visit, and they tend to be the ones with the greatest sales potential.
Very interesting, Neil. Well, actually, during the pandemic, we did a roundtable with some of our customers in the alcohol beverage category, where they were voicing their challenges about being prohibitive to call on bars, clubs, restaurants, etc. And we collectively came up with an innovative solution for the managers of the outlets to use Vispera's image recognition app to capture the shelf reality. And this enabled our customers to gain the completeness of executional data without their sales reps having to visit each outlet, decrease operational overheads per outlet audit. And as we are coming out of the tribulations of COVID, we actually see customers increasing their visit coverage by the number of outlets audited, as well as closer interaction with their retail partners by sharing their data. So, Neil, what do you think about the importance of robust insights in retail?
I think it's crucial for retailers and brands to quickly digest high volumes of data easily, right? So whether that be via graphical interfaces to really kind of make sense of the data and take action. And actually it reminds me in a previous life, a head of outlet execution from a major alcohol beverage manufacturer used to say, what gets measured gets done. And that somehow always stuck with me. So metrics that can accurately reflect the problems that brands are trying to solve. So in my mind, if a company isn't accurately measuring what they aim to fix or change, it's very difficult for them to determine whether progress is actually being made.
Neil, actually, that's one of our mottos at Vispera. We try to measure everything, and that's the only way we can improve our operations. Based on your experience, what should grocery stores do to survive and respond to changing shopper behavior in UK? How could technology help to keep pace with them?
I'm not sure I have all of the answers to that question, if I'm honest, but I think off the top of my head, I think personalizing that shopper experience is going to be key, right? So now that the world is coming back to this new reality, getting when a consumer goes to the stores, really kind of helping them to interact with the products is going to be key. So this can be done via gamification in store, and also AI will be used by the retailers to monitor in-store behaviors, and they'll want to get these real-time insights immediately.
Yeah, it is actually a fact that AI is becoming a part of our life more and more. How do you evaluate the future of AI, machine vision, and image recognition in grocery retail?
Technologies that provide opportunities to streamline the processes, to make them more efficient, which will hopefully have a positive impact on retailers' ever-pressing margins. I also predict that computer vision will be widely incorporated, and it is already, we see that today, allowing for things like, what Vispera does here, image, video recognition, for example, automated recognition of non-barcoded products to provide that more seamless checkout experience.
Well, in fact, Neil, Vispera is engaged with retailers on recognizing fruit and vegetables from shape and color. So this is one of the steps for an eventual seamless checkout in all categories, which is now limited to a few categories.
Amazing. I look forward to seeing this.
How do you think post-COVID environment will be for physical stores and for shoppers?
In post-COVID world, it will become more and more imperative for retailers to embed technology into brick and mortar environment. Consumers, we see that they've adopted new habits and they've learned a whole new vernacular from contactless, from curbside, click and collect, etc. And their expectations, let's face it, are higher than ever. They've embraced the convenience of, the predictability that comes with buying online. So being able to, order in the morning and then pick up in the afternoon, or order in the morning and have your purchases delivered that same day. So while lockdown shortages have forced us all, right, to shop differently, and certainly for me, I shopped in different retailers that I wouldn't normally. The chance that we're all going to slip back into our old ways, I think, is honestly slim.
Yeah, it really will be an interesting future to look forward to. Neil, I enjoyed our chat tremendously. Thank you for being with us today and sharing your thoughts. It was really a pleasure to have you in Vispera Retail Talks.
But it's been a real pleasure for me participating today. Thank you for inviting me.